Hey there, real quick before we get into the episode, I just want to ask you a huge favor. As you know, this podcast isn't monetized, and I really hope to keep it that way. And so, what would really be awesome is if you did me the favor of passing it forward, paying it forward. Hit that share button if you want to share this particular episode, or share the entire podcast. Post it on your stories or in your social media, or share it directly with any individual that you might think would appreciate and enjoy this content. I really want to continue giving you value for free, sharing this information with you, because my mission is to help you on your journeys, right? And as I said, if you are finding this stuff helpful, chances are there's somebody else out there that will. So again, do me a quick favor, hit that share button, and let's get this message out. All right, on with the show.
Path Media.
Yes, be authentic, be true to yourself, be real, but also hold yourself to a higher standard. Hi, my name is Ronnie Cruz. After almost 2 decades as a career network marketer, I realized that despite continual work on my personal and professional development, that I had hit a massive brick wall. So I took a deep and honest look at myself, top to bottom, hoping to find answers, and my search led me to one conclusion. The definitions I held of my business, of my world, of my life were the very things holding me back. If I wanted to change, if I wanted to grow beyond my current circumstances, I had to wipe the slate clean and redefine. This show is dedicated to helping you identify the belief systems, the mindsets, the very definitions that have held you back, and then help you break through those limitations to finally create the life you've been working so hard to achieve. Welcome to the Redefine Podcast. All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk about showing up as your authentic self, both online with the content that you create and publish, but also offline with your day-to-day interactions, your day-to-day lives. In the last episode, we talked about how we often compare ourselves to the content that we consume, and how we need to realize that that content is only a small fraction of the bigger picture, right? That there's a real human being that has challenges, that has foibles, that has flaws behind that content, right? Behind that lens that you're not necessarily seeing, because again, content is heavily curated. And so that leads to the conversation of, well, how do we show up, right? How do we show up and be authentic while also presenting our best foot forward? And so that's what we're going to really dive into today. Let's first talk about the offline stuff, right? The day-to-day interactions in the day-to-day lives. Yes, of course, I want you and encourage you to be true to yourself, to be real, to be authentic. But that doesn't mean excusing away your foibles. That doesn't mean excusing away your flaws and excusing away the mistakes that you've made. Especially when those mistakes have led to hurting other people. I've heard this a lot in the past, and I still continue to hear this today, where people make the excuses, well, I'm just being real, right? I'm just being honest. I'm being brutally honest. That's just who I am. I get that. I understand that, but that doesn't excuse you from hurting people, right? Right. That doesn't give you a pass to be ugly or to be mean. And so, yes, while you're being authentic, while you're being real, while you're being true, I still think that we need to hold ourselves to a higher standard to be better, right? To be better than who we are now. I mean, that's what growth is, right? That's what personal development is, to be better than you were yesterday. If you're just excusing away those mistakes and those faults, as this is just who I am, then you're not getting any better, and you're actually staying regressed. You're staying in a past version of yourself. And if that's okay with you, that's fine. That's your life. But I guarantee you that people aren't really going to respond positively to that, positively to that, and also it's going to be counterproductive to the things that you're trying to achieve in your life, right? If you have new goals, if you have new visions for yourselves, just allowing yourself to be flawed and to have these mistakes and to be like, that's just who I am. I'm not going to change for anybody. You're going to relegate yourself to continuing to get the same results that you've always gotten because you've refused to change. That's all that is, right? When you're saying, okay, I'm just being real, that's just who I am. I'm just being brutally honest, right? Whatever the situation. When you're saying that, it comes from a place of not wanting to change who you are. And if you don't change who you are, then you're never going to get new results. I mean, that's just simple logic. So yes, be authentic, be true to yourself, be real, but also hold yourself to a higher standard, right? If you have flaws, if you've seen that you've upset somebody, or if you've been in conflict with other people, yes, admit to those faults, but also hold yourself to a higher standard to do better in the future. Not just to say, well, that's just who I am, right? And leave it at that. We should always strive to be better and to continue and improve upon the things that we've made mistakes on in the past. I mean, that's the only way we grow. Now, when it comes to content, depending on, I mean, again, this is largely, not largely, but completely your choice. I mean, show up how you want to show up. But when it comes to showing only the very narrow, curated, kind of perfect scenery and perfect life, that, for me personally, has a limited kind of lifespan when it comes to content. Yes, I follow people who show these types of things, travelers, exotic locations, fancy resorts and hotels. I love that stuff because I love to travel, and I was an extensive traveler until actually the COVID, right? Pre-COVID, I traveled all over the world. But as far as the content goes, it's just because the content is so narrow, because it's just the scenery, because it's just a curated kind of picture. I don't find it interesting for very long because I can get that anywhere, right? It's not unique to the individual's journey, and so I end up unfollowing those kinds of accounts shortly after I've started following them. Again, yes, I'll follow them because I like it for a little while, but then it's like, okay, what else is there? What else is there in the narrative? So if it's very highly curated and it's very narrow, you got to really watch out for that because it can lead to people unfollowing you and getting bored with your content, and because there's nothing to connect with, right? There other than the scenery and the pretty picture, there's nothing human to connect with. And so when it comes to content, yes, curated, of course, put your best foot forward, but also show the human side of it, right? Show the challenges that you're going through, show the difficulties that you might be facing, admit to your own foibles and your own flaws, and then what people see is they see you working to put your best foot forward, but they also see that there's a human there that's doing that work, that you're not just showing up as a polished, seasoned speaker, or as this guru that knows everything about everything, right? There's also a human being that they can connect with. And it's up to you how much of percentage wise of your content you want to show that side of you. But I think it really will help people engage and connect with your content if you show that more complete picture, right? If it's not super, super narrowly curated. Of course, develop your niche. Make sure you find and you figure out who your ideal customer avatar is. And we'll talk more about this in the next episode. And create content that's compelling for that avatar. But also, I encourage you to add a human layer, to add that human side to your content. Because again, people connect with that more than just the pretty picture, than just the nice scenery. All right. So show up authentically, show up true to you, but also show the human side, right? Show the stuff that you may be reluctant to show. Show that human side of you, and you'll see that people will really resonate with that much more than just the pretty picture. All right, so that's going to do it for today's episode. Next episode, again, we're going to talk about the content itself. We're going to get really into kind of mechanics. I'm going to talk about the structure that I'm putting together right now for my social media marketing. I'm really, really excited to share all of that with you. So make sure you stay tuned. If you're not already following the show, hit that plus sign on whatever podcast app you happen to be listening on. Of course, if you're watching this on the YouTube, hit me with a thumbs up as well as a subscribe. And if you're not already a part of the of our online community, go to facebook.com/groups/redefine community, where you can get this content and so much more. All right, so that's going to do it for today. So until the next episode, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.